мощно, просто 30 пяти нападать по ночам в разных местах, совершают убийство с помощью ножа. Одно из двух.
Um,
Либо
Good afternoon,
жена, либо
everyone.
нападает.
Hello. Mm, Is my voice clear? Can you hear me? If
Yeah,
so,
good evening, good afternoon. Hope you're doing great. Yep,
yeah,
it is. Okay.
thank you. Okay, then it's already 3 p.m. in Tashkent, so let's start the webinar. Yeah, we are going to talk about China today. Our topic is China, why this country is attracting more and more students every year. Yeah, and why the number of students who want to study in China, even from Europe or the US and Canada, is increasing, significantly increasing. Also, we'll have a look at some universities, some scholarships, and general requirements. And so let's get started. This is our agenda for today. We'll briefly talk about who is Timur, who is me. We'll talk about universities in China. Yeah, we'll talk about Chinese Ivy League. We'll talk about some scholarship, general requirements, deadlines, and also we'll talk about some tentative living expenses in China. Finally, we'll have a small Q&A session. Okay, let's go. This is me, as you can see. Currently, I'm in Shanghai at Shanghai Jiao Tong University, studying Masters of International Business. And my current research area, interest area is supply chain management and disruptions in developing areas, especially Central Asia and Middle East. Yep, uh, that's it, I guess. And now let's get started with the scholarship and universities. First of all, I think having a full ride scholarship or 100% scholarship, yeah, whatever you call it, is one of the biggest dreams of most applicants who want to study abroad, especially our students or applicants from Central Asia, since compared to our salaries, the tuition fees in most universities are quite high, I would say. Yeah. And whenever we
Kaan,
talk, sorry,
işte ben.
thank you. Okay, whenever we talk about top universities, most of you think of Ivy League, yeah, let it be Yale, Harvard, or any top prestigious university in the US or Canada. However, we should not forget the fact that today the number of Chinese universities, the number of Chinese universities that are being considered in top is increasing as well, not only in China, not only in Asia, but globally. And here is the small list of 9 Chinese universities that are considered top, not only again in China, but globally. Number one is Tsinghua University. It's in Beijing, the capital city. They specialize on engineering and medical spheres. Peking University or Beijing University, whatever you call it. It's again in China, the capital city, Beijing. Then Fudan and Shanghai Jiao Tong universities. These two universities are located in Shanghai, and they focus on business area, on engineering and STEM subjects. The next is Zhejiang University. It's in Zhejiang Province, Hangzhou City. Yeah, as you can see, it's QS Global World is number 55. And then Nanjing University, as you can tell, it's located in Nanjing City, and it mainly focuses on medicine. And 3 more universities that focus on technologies, AI, and chemistry in most cases. They are University of Science and Technology of China, and then HIT or Harbin Institute of Technology. It's located in the northern part of China. Also, HIT has a Shenzhen campus located in Shenzhen City. And final is Xi'an Jiao Tong University. These are 9 universities that again are included in the Chinese Ivy League, but you should not forget about many other universities that are located not only in China mainland but also Hong Kong. About them, we'll talk about during the webinar because there is a small difference between them. So, first of all, let's talk about the scholarships that these universities or the Chinese government can offer. First of all, and the most admired, desired one is CSC scholarship or Chinese government scholarship. There are generally 3 types of it, A, B, and C, as you can see. A is a bilateral program. That's basically a scholarship program established between a university, university, Chinese government, and the embassy of China in your country. In our case, in Uzbekistan, that will be in Tashkent. And type B is a scholarship that is considered by the university itself. And type C is, I would call it quite a special group because it's for some athletes or a special group of people. And also, beside that, we have municipal scholarship. It's a scholarship that is granted by the city or province government itself. Some examples are Shanghai government, Beijing, Shenzhen. Again, we'll have Chongqing. So each and every big state, big city or province have their own. And finally is university scholarship itself. We usually call it merit-based scholarship that can cover up to 100%. And here I would like to add the 4th category of scholarship that is not usually listed on websites. It's the scholarship of your school. For example, in my case, my education and my expenses are being covered by my college, by Antai. So it's not listed here. Why it's not listed here? Because it's not always included, as I said, it's not always shown on the website of universities. It's mainly for the admitted and accepted students. Let's move on. Some brief facts about China and education in China. As you can see, bachelor's degrees can be 3 to 4 years. They can be 3 to 4 years, like in most countries. The master's degrees, there are programs for 2.5 years, depending on your major. For example, if you're studying business like me, that will be 2 years. But if you're studying communication, that will be 2.5. Most universities offer programs in English. However, if you want to study in Chinese, and if you have your HSK 5 certificate, you are welcome. They will provide this as well. But if you want to study in Chinese, but do not have an HSK, they might require you to have a 1-year language program where you generally improve your Chinese. And also, most universities have joint programs with American and European universities. Some examples can be Sino-US School of Logistics. It's again in Shanghai, Jiaoda. And it's the university, it's a faculty established between Jiao Tong University and Georgia University in the US, or Duke Kunshan University, right? And the visa process is much easier compared to Canadian visa process or American, since it usually takes up to 2 weeks. Yeah, in my case, it took around 15 days, so it's not that long. And the process is initiated by the university. First of all, they will send you a JW form. It's a proof that you have been admitted to university and willing to study in China. Once you receive that in your email inbox, you can start with the process itself. Okay. Deadlines for China. Again, unlike most European and American Canadian universities, deadlines are quite appealing, I would say, because they start in December, depending on the university and the major. They start in December up to the end of March. However, in some individual cases, they can receive applications up to June. For example, HIT Shenzhen for Master of International Business program, the deadline is May 15. Well, again, it depends on the program because, again, if we talk about, for example, Jiao Tong University, Masters of Finance, this year in 2025, the deadline is March 31. However, if you talk about some engineering programs or biomedical engineering, that was in February. So again, it depends on the program, and the deadlines can be varies. They can vary. And main requirements. Yep. As you can see, most of the requirements are very, very familiar to you, especially if you have already applied or started your process or planning to do that. Yep. Unlike most American and European universities, Chinese universities do not require an SAT certificate. That's that's very good news, I think, in my opinion. And most universities like Tsinghua or Beijing University might encourage you to have an SAT, but still it's an option. It's not a must. Yep. And the same for GMAT or GRE for master's students. Some programs like International MBA at Jiao Tong might require a GMAT certificate, but again, most universities do not have this requirement. It's just an option, not a must. And in terms of other documents and requirements, first of all, is your motivation letter, your personal statement, where you have to show your interest to study in China in a particular university, why you decided to study here, why this major, why it appeals to you, and generally in your motivation letter, around 500 to 800 words, you have to highlight this, you have to show this, and you have to explain and prove. And test score, yep, IELTS, most of you are familiar with this. And the most common requirement is 6.5. However, there are some individual cases like Nanjing University of Science, Nanjing University of Economics and what was that? Nanjing University of Finance and Economics. The requirement for undergrads is 5.5. In my opinion, it's very good. Yep. And also leadership and extracurricular activities. Yeah, basically, these are the indicators of who you are besides your academic realm. It means what you did besides just being a student. Yeah, what kind of internships you did, what kind of volunteering you did, what kind of projects you were a part of or contributed, or maybe set up something. Yep. It can be a small club, like a book or reading club at your school, and can finish with a startup that you did or you were part of again. And finally, a reference from work, school, and events. Yep. If you're a school student, it's a reference letter from your teachers or from your school council, principal. And if you are a bachelor's degree student who's applying to master's, it can be, again, a reference letter from your professor, from your dean, from your vice rector, or if you have a professional experience, valid professional experience, you can have a reference letter from your employer as well. And depending on some universities, there might be some additional requirements, like a video introduction of yourself, brief introduction in addition to your motivation letter. And also, if we talk about Hong Kong universities, unlike China mainland, Hong Kong University or Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, for example, they have slightly different requirements. For example, in most cases, the IELTS test score requirement is 6.5 at least. And in addition to your motivation letter, you might be required to write an additional essay. Yeah, it can be like describe a situation when you had a problem and you had to resolve it, something like this. And also in terms of Hong Kong universities, you should keep in mind that the deadlines can be different to the one is in China mainland as well. So before applying, before starting the application process, you should be sure that you are in time for that. Fine, let's move on. Let's talk about some average costs of living in China. Unlike a small country, for example, like United Arab Emirates or Qatar, that's small and has a relatively similar prices everywhere, China is pretty big, I would say. It's one of the biggest countries in the world. And so therefore, we cannot say that, we cannot overgeneralize that the average cost of China is the same either in Shenzhen, in Beijing, in Shanghai, or Xi'an. Therefore, there is a small table of two different tier class cities of China. Yeah, first tier and second tier. There could have been the third tier, but not many students are interested in them. So, as you can see, here are the prices like tuition fees. They can vary from 4 to 7,000 US dollars. However, again, there are some specific programs like MBA or MIB that can be around 13,000 per year, but 4 to 7 is a general and most common. Accommodation 2,500 to 5,000. However, it again depends. For example, if you're in Shanghai and you live in a city center like Xuhui area, it can be even higher, up to 8,000 per year. But if you live somewhere in suburb like Jingpu, it can be even cheaper than 2,500. Again, food and daily expenses, it depends on how you spend, how much you eat, how much you entertain yourself and buy clothes and go shopping, right? Again, 2 to 3,000, it's a tentative price. It can be higher, it can be lower, depending on your personal expenses and how much money you spend. Health insurance, for international students, in most cases, it's a compulsory 1 year health insurance that costs 800 yuan or $110 probably. And total estimate can be from 10,600 to 15,000. So again, it's tentative. However, if we talk about the second tier cities, again, second tier cities, it doesn't mean that they are bad or underdeveloped or lacking. No, they're also big, they're also developed, they have infrastructure, beautiful buildings and culture and history and everything. Yeah, like Hangzhou has Zhejiang University, that's in Chinese Ivy League. Just these cities are not as rich as Beijing or Shanghai. And as you can see, prices are significantly lower. However, again, depending on your program, it can be your tuition fee can be 2 to 4,000 or even higher. Like if you decide to study finance at Zhejiang University, it can be up to $10,000. So it depends again, right? Accommodation, still it depends on which part of the city where you live, but tentatively it can be 800 to 2,500. Again, food and daily expenses from 1,200 to 2,500, but let's say it can be varied. And again, health insurance, in most cases, it's the same. So you can see this contrast in the prices on average expenses in these cities, in these types of cities. However, they can vary, and the biggest difference that can be noticed between these tier cities, yeah, first and second, it's the accommodation prices. They can differ dramatically, and sometimes it's scary, by the way. So, that's it. That was a brief introduction of China, Chinese universities, and some scholarship types. Now, I would like to, no, let's just leave it. And who has or what questions do you have? If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to ask them, and I'll be happy to respond.
First, Timur,
Yep.
shall I be first? Yep. First of all, hello. Like my name is Nutla, and I'm
Hi.
also from Samarkand. I'm like super interested in studying in China. Me and my
Hmm.
brother, actually, he wants to study like bachelor's. I want to do my master's in there.
Hmm.
Well, the case, I mean, I had like few questions beforehand, before just asking some advice from you. So the
Okay.
first question is like, could you please a little bit tell me about more in detail regarding the deadlines of CSC scholarship?
CSC scholarship, if you're talking about type B, yeah, it's the one that is decided by the university itself. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
one student can apply only once per year. It means
Mm-hmm.
for the upcoming 2025 academic year, you have only one opportunity to apply for type B scholarship that will be considered by your university. And it's really, really, really competitive, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And as for deadlines, it depends, and they are very, very different. Like if you're talking about finance program at Shanghai Jiao Tong, the deadline was in February.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you're talking about, for example, Zhejiang University of Finance and Economics, some
Mm-hmm.
programs are still receiving applications for CSC. So it really depends, and you have to um, do some research based on the university, city, and the major.
You got like CAC scholarship from the
Uh,
university?
no, as I mentioned, my scholarship is my college scholarship. Yeah, my
Oh,
college is called Anti-College of um, 经济, of
mm-hmm.
Economics and Management.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they cover my tuition fees.
So I got it. Like, and like as I understood, like currently you're studying like language course, like you study Chinese a
Oh, no, no,
year and
no,
you're
no.
doing like
I'm
degree in
no, I'm a full-time master's degree student, specialized in international business.
got it. And do you have some Chinese classes where you study Chinese?
Yeah, I do. We had a compulsory Chinese classes, but uh, it's compulsory only for one semester
Mm-hmm.
because, for example, the second semester I don't have it. However, I have a Chinese culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like this.
So, and is it possible that, for example, like if we apply like from one family member, like two students are applying to the university and both of us can get this scholarship, like fully funded scholarship, I mean?
Yeah,
You think
sure.
that there's a
There
possibility?
are no limits. Sure, there are no limits. And one more good piece of news that I forgot to mention is, unlike most European and American universities, Chinese universities do not have a strict GPA requirement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if your GPA is, well, I mean, it will not be lower than 2.7. However,
Yeah.
even if it's 2.8, 2.9, 3.0, you will
Mm-hmm.
still be considered based on the whole set of your documents.
Wow. And and currently like my degree is in like kind of Japanese philology. I
Oh,
study like languages at the
yeah,
like Inyas University, I guess you know this place.
I do.
And like, but I have already like received some recommendation letters from like a deputy rector of like University of Economics
Uh-huh,
and
uh-huh.
like from the one guy whom I like assist in the past, like you know, he's an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm,
investor in the country. And like he also wrote me a like motivation letter for me. And
mm-hmm,
also I can get the letter from one guy like who did like the PhD in China, you know, like his master's and PhD in there.
mm-hmm,
And I'm just still considering like I have like three motivation letters and things, you know,
mm-hmm,
and I want to pursue my degree in management or
mm-hmm,
in sales, you know, like the marketing sales or the management. These
mm-hmm.
are the areas that I'm interested in. Do you think that with my degree that I have in bachelor, I can get into the degree that I want to pursue my career in?
Yeah, of course you can. And again, I just want to, and I like comparing, unlike most European American universities, Chinese universities are more open as long as you can prove that you have a real interest in this sphere, you can apply to that. For example, I came to international business from logistics background. I have a friend who studied
Hmm.
linguistics and now is doing international relations. Or I have another
Hmm.
friend from Moscow who did language like you. She studied Chinese and English, and now she's studying biomedical engineering.
Oh wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. I mean,
interesting.
she did some additional courses and certificates, but still, it's impressive because her bachelor's degree was in language, and now she's studying some brain cells and so on, and genes and genetics.
Wow, that's interesting. So, and do we have like, do we still have a chance to apply to the university? Like, and, you will our mentor if I will just sign up to the, for example, like membership, like mentorship from like Globstudy, and you will be assisting us throughout the process of ours if we will
Uh,
apply to the Chinese university.
yes, sure,
This
but
is the case?
yeah, sure, but I should warn that today is March 16, and as I said, most
Yeah.
universities have deadlines up to March 31. However, there are some cases that
Mm-hmm.
are open up to June. Recently I
Mm-hmm.
was I was looking at what university. There was again Zhejiang University. I think it was Tongji University in Shanghai. It was Tongji University. They have up to
Mm-hmm.
April, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but I will need to check it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about like Tianjin University and Nankai University? So these are like not far from like Beijing, like the province like Beijing. Taijin
Mhm.
University and Nankai University. Have you heard about these universities? They're like kind of top 200 or something like this.
Nanking University?
Nankai
Nan
University and
Nankai.
Taijin University.
Oh, to be honest, I never heard about them. Yeah, I will
Yeah,
probably Google it after the video session, but so I'm not really sure, so I don't want to be mistaken.
yeah, got it. Like
Mhm,
to be honest, like the case of mine and my brother is like we have already like done and submitted all the documents. There was a guy like who was assisting us from China,
mhm,
like and he just works in there.
mhm,
But unfortunately, we lost the contact with him. We have already done like a medical examination, everything. And
mhm,
basically, what I'm looking for, like if he will not like, come back, with some good news, and he'll reply to my messages because we usually just chat with him like WeChat. I think like this is a very popular messenger in there.
uh-huh,
So basically everything is ready, Slovakia, like it's Slovakia, I'm sorry, like everything, like the
mhm,
motivational letters. I have taken some motivational letters from like the Confucius University, like a director of Confucius University has written
mhm,
a recommendation letter for my brother
mhm,
because he
mhm,
studies like the cheesecake, like and the Chinese languages in there. So
mhm,
everything is ready, but the only thing is like already like more than 20 days passed and we don't have any news from him. I message him and he doesn't reply.
mhm.
And basically, what I'm looking for, like, is there still any chance of ours? Because everything is ready, like medical examinations, like recommendations, like some motivational letter, everything.
Yeah,
So, and I mean, like,
sure.
I have seen the video of yours in Globe City a year
Mhm,
ago. So actually, you're the one of the like reasons why I'm planning to apply to China. Like
mhm.
I said, oh wow, this guy did a great job. So let's just kind of resemble the what do you call it, the past of his, because I
Yeah,
really like it. I did some research on it, and then
yeah.
I had something in my mind to study in there.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great country. So if you are sure that you want to study in China, sign up to Globstudy, come there, and they will help you. We will help you.
Yeah. So basically, you will be the mentor. Am
I
I
will. Yeah.
100%? Yeah.
Uh, Maybe 99.
99%. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
what do you think about the case of mine and my brothers? Can you help us, or is it possible? So,
As
if it is possible, we go and straight away just sign up for this,
as long as everything is ready, we can talk about that once we're done with this
Yeah.
session. Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you for your questions. And here is another question. Yeah, I can read it. Is it
Mm-hmm.
hard to live in China without knowing Chinese?
Mm-hmm.
It really depends on which city you are in. For example, in Shanghai or Shenzhen, one of the most international cities of China, there are a lot of people, I mean, locals who can speak English. However, if you go again to Hangzhou or Suzhou or Yiwu, there you need to rely on your Chinese, on your Mandarin, because you cannot really find a lot of people who do speak English. And yeah, so it's better if you have some basic knowledge of Chinese, like level one or level two, probably. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, do you have to take Chinese national exams to apply? Luckily, we do not have to. Otherwise, we would have been. dead. Yep, Chinese national exams or Gaokao that the pupils prepare from the very, very childhood, like from the age of 6 or 7. They prepare for this Gaokao. It's one of the most serious, one of the strictest school exams in the world. And if you can pass the Gaokao exams, it means you can pass any test. Yeah. But luckily, as foreigners, we do not have to take this test. And what about job vacancies there and salary? Uh-huh. It's a really good question. But first of all, I need to mention that as a student, as an international student, you are not allowed to work, period. Yeah. However, you can have a slight modification in your visa. It will be an internship student kind of, where you have a part-time internship still approved by your school. And if you work illegally, yeah, you might be warned or even deported from the country, and they will just take away all of your scholarships and merits. Yep. However, once you're done with your studies and if you have some job vacancies, uh, or job offers, it it can be really, really, really appealing because there are a lot of international companies, including Microsoft, Google, Apple, Lego, IKEA, whatever comes to your mind. They have their offices in China, but and not only in Shanghai, but in most cities, from east to west, from north to south. And salaries can range. For example, if you Google, an average salary in Shanghai is around 8,000 yuan, or more than $100,000. However, if you go to a small third or fourth tier city, the salaries will be significantly lower. It's like comparing salaries in Tashkent, in some other cities of Uzbekistan. So it really depends on which city you are in. Mhm. Would you recommend Chinese university to study law? Hmm. Yeah, of course. Why not? Again, one of the top law schools is is in Jiao Tong University. It's Koguan Law School. Yeah, it's very popular with its um, um curriculum. It can appeal to everyone, and it's pretty serious. It's very demanding. Yeah, law schools in China, especially in Fudan or Tsinghua University, are very well known. Mhm. Any other questions that you would like to have answers for?
Yeah, do you have your like kind of the Instagram where you just post some daily life in China or something like this?
Uh, I I
Yeah.
do have my Instagram, but I do not really run it very often because of I don't really have time to do that.
Mhm.
So I do not. I had some in the beginning, but not now.
Do you have like the link for this? Like, or like, would you like to recommend or just write it in somewhere so that
Uh,
we can just follow
you
up
can
and see?
you can message me after this session, yeah, because it's not my private session. So
Ah, okay.
yeah.
Sure.
Mhm.
How should I supposed to message you? Like from where? Like from Instagram or just
Yeah, on Instagram. Go to
but
Globstudy and I'm there.
oh, no problems. No problems.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Hmm. So if someone has any other questions, you're welcome to ask. I'll be more than
Hello,
happy to
Mr.
respond.
Timur.
Oh, Vagif, hello.
Uh, I would like to ask, is Gangkong is the best region to study finance?
Um, I can't say that it's the best, but it's one of the best, of course. Yeah, Hong Kong University is renowned for its finance programs. It is very competitive, and the cost of living in Hong Kong is significantly higher than in China mainland. Yeah, but if you have a full ride scholarship, Hong Kong is a really good place to study finance. and to live as well, yeah, with the climate, with the people. However, living expenses are significantly higher. And unlike China, where you can have a part-time internship officially, in Hong Kong, you cannot do that unless you finish your studies in most cases.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah. And in Hong Kong, you have to study the traditional Chinese characters and speak Cantonese. So come to mainland, not Hong Kong.
Okay.
Mhm.
What about attitude of Chinese people like to the foreigners?
They are friendly, they're open, they're helpful. Yeah. Well, I mean, the ones who I have seen, I have met, I have encountered are very friendly and helpful. However, I don't really know. I know some stories when my friends came, just approach a Chinese person just to ask for help, and they would just turn around without even saying anything. So,
Mhm.
but the ones who I have encountered so far are really friendly. Yeah. And if, as a foreigner, you do speak Chinese, they always start praising your Chinese level. Like, oh, your Chinese is so good. I like it. Where do you come from? Yeah. You get a lot of compliments if you speak Chinese, even if you say ni hao.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Well, if, oh, how hard are the exams? How hard are the exams? Let me talk about my case, my example, because I know the exams in my major. In most cases, exams are very strict, and any form of cheating can be penalized very harshly up to being kicked out of the university. Yeah, so we don't want that. That's why you need to, as a student, you need to prepare for the exams in advance, like a few weeks in advance. And if you have applied statistics, for example, or data science, they will be very serious. However, in some cases, there are open book exams where you are allowed to come with your laptop, with your books, with your notes, with whatever you want and take the exams. However, again, in most cases, they are closed books, so you need to cram for them. You need to learn and prepare very, very hard.
Mhm.
Mhm. Okay. If there are no any questions, I think we can finish now. So yeah, so no more message questions. Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thanks everyone for being, watching, listening. Thank you for the questions. Yep, and yeah, have a good day.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to see you. That
Goodbye.
was Pep.
Thank you.
Speak to you soon. Thank you.